Good day, children. This is Ms. Tembi, your science teacher, and I am greeting you today. Hopefully, you're still keeping safe in the city. I am on my side of the city. I'm here with you for our lesson 4 of Unit 3, where we're learning about all kinds of animals. So, today we'll be looking at some of the animal life cycles. This information will come from your Life Sciences, which is your thick science book, and it'll come from pages 105 to 116. Right, let's get to it. In this lesson, we are going to learn how different animals grow and how they change during their lives as they grow. We will learn about how some animals go from young to being adults. We will also learn about growth changes by looking at the life cycles of butterflies and those of frogs. The vocabulary for this lesson, which are the important words that we will need to learn, include words like life cycle, pupa, tadpole, reproduce, larva, and metamorphosis. Okay, so what do they mean? What do you think they mean when they say animal startups? So a startup is literally something that describes the beginning, the very beginning. And you'll find that the activities on here, activities in your book on page 106. We have there the example of a young cat that looks like its parents, and we have a butterfly that does not look like its parents. Well, it's a young butterfly. In this case, I wonder if you guys know if what we call a young butterfly at this point, but we'll get to that in a while. So I'd like for you to have done, or at least do, the activities on page 106 to 107, and note how some animals look like their parents when they are born and some animals do not look like their parents when they are born. Also, while you're looking at these, I need you to consider which animals breastfeed their young. Remember, we did the different kinds of animals in the previous chapter. I think one of those animals breastfeed their young. That means their children eat from their mother's breasts. Right. There's a little instruction here I want you to go over, which is for you to, in your copybook, it's for you to write out the meanings of the vocabulary words using the picture glossary at the back of your book or the highlighted words in the lesson pages, like the word for life cycle pointed to by the orange arrow. Okay. Now, let's look at the life cycle of a frog so we can learn about how some animals grow and change as they become adults. Right. A frog starts its life inside an egg. If you look at the first picture, picture number 1, you can see that a frog starts out in a plastic-like covering. That would be the egg. And in there is the mini tadpole. In essence, the actual egg. Then the egg hatches into a tadpole, which is what we see here on picture number 2. If you look closely, the tadpole has a tail, a wavy tail, but it has no legs. Now, I want you to stop and think about where you think the tadpole would live. Is it on land or in the water? Think about why. Okay, the changes that a frog goes through to become an adult is called metamorphosis. So what metamorphosis would mean, I hope you'd find shortly from your books or your glossary, is the big changes that happen to a frog's body as it grows. Right. The young tadpole grows and breathes through gills as it lives in the water. There's our question answered. The tadpole lives in the water. The adult frog, however, uses lungs to breathe. And for you to breathe using lungs, that would mean you're breathing in, is it water or air? I can't remember. I wonder if you guys can remember. Right, another thing I've been asking myself is if you can guess why it's called a life cycle. The clue is in the word. Cycle sounds a lot like, look at the shape I'm making. Okay, now looking at some growth and changes. I posted a link to a video that I'd like you to watch on YouTube about some animal life cycles. Now, once you've watched the video, I want you to consider the different kinds of life cycles that different kinds of animals go through. Now, we also know that humans also have life cycles. After giving birth, humans go through 4 stages of growth. I wonder if you can name them. And you guys as children, which stage of the human life cycle are you at? Write down your answers and send them to me. Right, in the example below, we see that a polar bear, they change from birth, starting out as a newborn polar bear, and then they turn into a growing cub, and then a young polar bear. Now, young polar bears learn to swim and hunt on their own because they're soon going to become adult polar bears who now have to find another female polar bear so they can reproduce and make newborn cub polar bears. Right. Another life cycle we said we're going to look at is that of the mighty monarch. A monarch is this kind of butterfly here by number 4. Okay. A monarch butterfly's life starts with a small egg once again, then a tiny larva or caterpillar hatches there. You can sort of see that it's going to be a butterfly because it almost has a similar color scheme as the adult butterfly, but we don't know that yet because it's looking much like a worm caterpillar. Right, so the larva hatches from the egg and it grows larger, and then the larva spins silk around itself called a pupa. Now, when it's spinning all this silk, before it does the spinning of the silk, it eats a lot because it's going to cover itself like so for a while before it turns into a butterfly. So you would have obviously needed to eat in all that time so that it can grow nice and big while it's inside the pupa, where it will grow wings, and then once it's grown and big enough, it'll come out as a butterfly. Once the wings have dried, it can fly. So also, the butterfly, whilst inside the pupa, goes through metamorphosis as it grows its wings. Okay, that's it for our lesson for today. I have some instructions here for you for the online bit of our work. I will be sending a supporting worksheet, like I said in the beginning, for those of you who don't have your books, and it'll be for all of you who can access it. please try and do as much as possible of the work and send the pictures to me so that I know that you're doing your work. Thank you very much. Also, remember, you can message me anytime. And because of the network and its uncertainty, I'll always try my best to read your messages on time. Other than that, keep well and thank you.